I am about to watch season 3, episode 1 of Stranger Things. Now, I watched the first 2 seasons, but it was a long time ago. So last night I watched the last episode of season 2 to get a refresher. But I'm still there's still a lot of other stuff. I'm not sure if I couldn't even name all the characters. So it's been a while. But I do want to continue with the series. So season 3, episode 1 of Stranger Things. Here we go. Okay, so it appears to be a few months later, unless it's a few months earlier, but let's say it's later. It's the next season. So presumably, was it a military facility or not technically? Well, they're probably in the same building, so let's go from there. Is it weird to point out how short that one military guy is? How long do you think it took to physically build that entire thing? Because that's huge. When are these movie and TV scientists going to learn that just because you can doesn't mean you should? You know what? I'm pretty sure that all the people in that, standing behind glass, that's gonna protect them, they will not learn from this. So, your buddies get fried and you're just gonna walk into the room without even, a mask on? Poor planning. Is it just me, or does this guy seem dumb enough to just jab his arm into there? So is this in Russia? This is not even the same in Indiana. This is a separate hole, crack, fissure way into it's the upside down, right? Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense that there's more than one. They just walked outside, and yeah, definitely not Indiana. See, okay, now it says 1 year later. That's very clear because when even when books do this, when it's it just shows the day or the date, you never remember what the previous day or date was. You need 1 year later. Okay, thank you. I'm good. Oh, wow, lots more kissing. Okay. I mean, I guess it did say a year later, so okay. Plus, they're a little bit older. Plus, okay, and I did like how he's getting into the music, feeling the mood. But then when he's do you like it? And she's like, no. I'm like, yeah, girl, tell him you don't like it. It is nice that she gets to be a regular kid now, but let's see how long that lasts. Are they going to a midnight show? That'd be so cute. What movie is it going to be, though? Dustin is not with them, though. Where is he? What's he looking like now? So, I kind of love Babysitter Steve, and just them showing up at, the ice cream parlor, your kids are here. Oh, he's their dad. That's so sweet. It is kind of cool to see the 80s version of the, pre-movie animations. That's kind of cute. Ooh, creepy 80s mode with all the lights off. What could it be? Okay, Steve, I feel like you should know enough from experience to go check on your children right now. They probably need you. It's not just the mall, it's the whole town. I'm guessing it has to be bad. What is that location, and why is the, dust and glass? Why is this a magnetic? There's something, see, it's not just the lights. Oh, here we go. Okay, so this is interesting because, okay, so it's clearly not really a magnetic thing because it's not just being pulled, it's forming its own shape. And I mean, is it going to be that shadow monster thing? For some reason, I don't think so. I don't know what this is. Okay, so everything's back on, but I'm wondering, what would be necessary to what either knocked out all the power or drew all the power just to sort of, it was sort of that was strange. Why would I put Halloween candy in my mouth right at this? Okay. Will is freaking out. Everyone else is happy-go-lucky, they don't live in Hawkins, Indiana. Uh, oh, so where is Dustin? Where is he? Why is he not with them? I'm wondering if this poor little boy. I'm wondering if he's getting any like counseling or any care for his like the trauma he's been through, this PTSD that like is pretty clear that he has. And I just like even if he's fine, but he was just worried about it for a second. He's just a kid. It's Nancy and Jonathan, right? Where do they need to be at a certain time? Or do they just not want to be caught together? Okay, it seems like the mom knows that Nancy was sleeping over, which, cool. I mean, have they graduated? Were they seniors? So it's a year later? I mean, I don't. Does she live there? Okay, so there's Dustin. So has he been out of town? Where has he been? What has he been doing? Okay, so he's been gone a month, but I'm sure they didn't forget. I mean, they didn't forget you. I mean, especially if what's his name is still dating Max, then I mean, maybe they got wrapped up in other things, but they didn't forget you. By the way, my guess is that he was at some sort of summer camp for science-y kids. Okay, so either it's some sort of leftover electrical disturbance, or he's imagining it, or his friends are somehow all like controlling the toys, and then they're gonna surprise him, like, "Of course, we know you're coming back today. We love you," and then group hug. So I was right that they were surprising him, but how did I not think that it was 11? Duh. Also, should we be concerned that with all she can do, she still gets a nosebleed from moving a couple of toys across the room? They even made him a sign. That's so cute. Is this scene at the community pool reminding anyone else of The Sandlot? Are these ladies serious? At first I was like, I mean, it's doubtful they have a crush on this like lady lifeguard, but this, I mean, come on. Ladies, he's like 19, maybe, and I mean, you're all like, oh my god, like, I get, just, come on. Well, the town's going through a hard time. That's tough. Hooper wanting them to break up, it's like, I mean, sir, you're a dad now. You have a 13-year-old? I don't know how old she is. 14? I don't know. I'm glad he's talking to his friend about it, though. That's good. A heart to heart? What is that? Oh, Hoop. Come on. I mean, now, Joyce, right? She sounds like a good mom, okay? When what she's telling you is that you need to talk to them, and you do, and I mean, I know it's not gonna go well, but I still want you to try. So they're both working for the paper, okay? This room full of guys is such a room full of guys. But the one guy who seems to be the guy in charge, I know him from, I know him from something else. I hope that these men realize that if this was a slightly different show, there would come a day, not too far from now, where they would all bite into their lunch sandwiches that Nancy has brought to them, and they would all choke because they'd all been poisoned. I want to believe that Suzie is real. Let's say that. Oh, Steve. You're trying, and I commend you for that. Actually, the hat is not the worst part of that outfit. Actually, now that he's taken the hat off, Steve's hair. You can't put a hat on that. You know, I gotta say, I like his sales pitch. Hooper, I find you both endearing and problematic. I love the way that he asked her to have dinner. I don't know what she's gonna say. It has been a year, but I don't know what she's gonna say. But he did so well. While it is possible that she has plans, I've noticed more than once now where instead of just saying, no, I don't want to, they've made up some excuse. You don't need an excuse. Just say you don't want to if you don't want to. I do feel like if Dustin's machine worked as well as he said it does, it maybe doesn't need to be at the top of a hill in order to be that effective. And I just feel like this is not a point in Suzie's favor. So they don't approve of you because you're not Mormon. They sent her to science camp as part of this story that you're building. So just, I feel like he's thrown up a couple of balls in the air now and he just needs to keep track of them. I also feel like they could have pretty easily had 11 carry all of that stuff up the hill. But again, would that cause a nosebleed? And I just feel like at this point, things like that should not cause her nose to bleed. And also, for Mike and 11, like, as much as, like, I get it. You're almost to the top of the hill. It's not going to take that much longer. Like, you are bailing on your friends at this point. And does Dustin plan on hauling all of this gear up and down the hill every time he wants to talk to Suzie? And also, it seems like it fit into one bag, although he did say it was unassembled. So maybe, I mean, there's like 4 of them carrying stuff. Maybe 3, I don't... Dustin, my friend. Wait, Will. What's going on with Will? Okay, is it an emotional trigger? Is it an electric trigger? Like, is it the reason the hill is a good place for Dustin's thing is also the same reason that he's picking up on something? I'm worried for this boy. It's interesting that seems to be the same place where all the rats were fleeing from the other night. Now they're all going towards it, which is unusual. And also, are there just normally that amount of rats in a town, but they're usually just so much more spaced out? Or is this an unusual amount of rats? 1, that's fucking weird, and 2, that's fucking gross. Also, it does not make sense that an animal would be attracted to something that would immediately kill it. That's sort of what animals run away from. What is happening here? Sir, I get where you're going. I get what you're about, but you are not the one who is teaching her things, okay? I don't care, okay? You need this. I don't want this. I have a thing with age difference. I don't like it. And this is at least a 20-year age difference. And it's... I don't like it. A motel. Ma'am, let this be a red flag to you. 5 hours? Dustin, that is unreasonable. I'm hoping that once they get this built, they'll be able to just leave it up there. It seems pretty clear to me that his antenna thing is going to pick up something else at some point. That's nice to see Bob again, but I guess I didn't realize that maybe I'm forgetting part of their relationship from last season, but I didn't realize it was that, and it's been a year. I mean, I don't want to, set anyone's timeline, but then the magnets on the fridge, what's happening? So obviously I want Nancy to go and investigate this herself. I mean, 1, because clearly, but also, like, she is probably, honestly, better equipped to handle a story like this, much more than any of the other guys at the paper. Hooper, you can do it. This is your time. Come on. Also, really quick, don't smoke in bed. All right, good. A little tip. You might want to turn off the music before you get started. There you go. Now you can focus. Just say what Joyce wrote for you. What is happening here? They're like 14 and I feel like you're losing grip on the control of the situation. So you need to start talking. You know what? You had started to, you took it your own way, but you were walking down a road, and now I think you may have walked too far. I'm betting the grandma's already passed away. See, that is where the plan was always going to fall apart because he's 14 and he obviously cannot drive himself home. You did not think this through. You had an entire opening paragraph written out for you, which I understand you can make it your own, but it got away from you. I do want to cut him some slack though, because even though he's been doing this for a year, it's just been a year. And like, I mean, yes, he had a daughter. He had a daughter, but I think she was young. So it's like, this is new and he's doing it by himself. And I just want to cut him some slack. All right, now you have the opportunity to reel this back in. So do your best. Is it just me, or is it a little bit unrealistic for a 14-year-old boy to be when he is talking to who is basically his girlfriend's father, who also happens to be the town sheriff, that he would be yelling at him and swearing at him? This dynamic is just like, no, come on, no. He is right. It is so disrespectful. Thank you for calling that out. Okay, here we go. And also, I mean, like, we know that Eleven's his daughter, but like saying it, yes, man, you are doing it, okay. Dustin, my sweetheart. It's like, go home. I mean, I'm assuming then, I mean, also, for this to work, she has to have her own setup, one. So, one, she also presumably just got home and has to set this up, also on the top of a hill in Utah? Possibly not, but maybe. And then she also has to be, like, in the vicinity when he calls. So, yes, he's been, like, trying to contact her for hours, like, assuming she's real, of course. And, yeah, sure. But what else is going to get him? He's out at night when things are going wrong. This is not safe. So my guess was that the other three were not still there, but apparently they are. Does no one's parents care where their children are? I get this is like the 80s, but like is no one concerned at all? I am proud of them for holding off until this point for questioning him on whether Suzie is real or not. That's friendship. And now those two are just going to walk home in the dark. Wait, if it took them 5 hours to walk up there, now I am assuming that all of all that gear they were hauling slowed them down a little bit. And honestly, it's going to take you longer to walk somewhere than it is to drive, and they cannot drive yet. So they're going to walk another 5 hours home. Dustin, I understand what you're trying to do, man, and sure, I respect it, but you cannot let Will walk home by himself. And I realize, not only have you been out of town for a month, but he is not really sharing what may be going on with him, so I get it, but do not let that boy walk home alone. Alright, two things. So now the three of them have left Dustin on a hilltop, alone, by himself, at night, in the middle of nowhere. And, these are the kids who know what could happen to him. And also, the other thing. So, Dustin is like, oh, yeah, feeling sorry for himself. Like, oh, I just got home. No one wants to hang out with me. When all he wants to do is talk to his girlfriend. He dragged them all up to the top of the hill to build this antenna thing so that he could talk to his girlfriend. And then he's the one who's complaining that they don't want to spend time with him. Self-reflection. Well, as I said, I suspected that something else would come through, but somehow I did not guess Russia. Do I think it's weird that she took off her wedding ring when what's his name clearly knows that she's married? So it's not like she's fooling anyone. I guess herself. Is he okay? Uh-oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Okay, that he's in the exact place where the rats were going. This is not safe. What I don't understand is why he's blaming the car or faulting the car. You spun off the road. It's not the car's fault that the car's not cool after spinning off the road. I mean, I don't like him, but I don't want him to be eaten by like a monster. So is he dead? It seems like he's dead. Okay, so that was season 3, episode 1 of Stranger Things. I want to see more of Steve. I want to see him corral these kids. I want to see Hooper being like a dad. I like that. I like his friendship with Joyce. I feel like if they just take their time and communicate, I feel like that could be really good. And I want Nancy to be a badass bitch. That'll be fantastic. And so yeah, I probably won't make reactions for like all the episodes this season, but I'm gonna keep watching it. So, Stranger Things.